Hi guys, my name is Matt and this is the tutorial series when I show you how to create an RPG game mechanics. Before we jump into title slide, I want to show you one thing because I've done critical mistake in the last part. So here at the start we just go ahead and made load input function. And the problem is that when you go ahead to a new device and first you open up the game first time, there is no the file saved here. We got a problem and we've got an assertion and we couldn't play the game to save it. So what I've done, I've created other static method called boolean function actually, called file exist, which is returning true or false, either this file of this specific path exists. And here I'm checking if this file exists, and if it does, I'm loading the input. So in a package that I have exported and I give you a link to in the previous part, I've updated the script and I've commented everything. So I hope you won't get critical mistakes. Yeah, it was critical, sorry guys. And another problem is that we can't close the file because it's after returning, so this part of code is actually unreachable, because after returns function we cannot make anything more. So what I've done, I will make like t loaded class equals this, and now I will return loaded class, and here I will put close after reading this file. Okay, so it's all right. Let me sure it works, because I do not want to check it again. Sort alpha 1 mouse 2, change the speed, hit apply. Yes, it works. Okay, so now let's jump to the title slide. So now in the title screen, welcome, my name is Matt and this is the tutorial series when I show you how to create an RPG game mechanics. Today I'm recording the episode 12 of the series, and we are starting new, very wide and very complicated, I guess it might be very complicated topic about our inventory creation. And we are starting basically from nothing, and I hope in 5 episodes we will at least have something. Okay, so let's start. So at first I'm gonna open our classes script, and here I'm gonna add another public class. I will just call it item for now, and I will leave nothing in it. Serializable. I made it, of course, serializable because we will then make lists of it as an inventory and stuff like that. And maybe I will put something here. I will add public string name, description. I will also add public in value. Now we've got our script of an item. It's nothing but a script of basically anything. And here in our game manager, I will close the input manager for now, and I will also close pause menu, and I will add another script called player in inventory. And I will drag and drop it to game manager. I like whoops, what I've dropped. Player inventory. Now I'm gonna open up the script in my Microsoft Visual Studio. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna leave mono behavior because it is gonna be attached to our player, our game manager. I like to keep everything that needs to persist, or almost anything here in game manager. And now we need to add some namespace. Let's start with system collections, some generic collections. And now we need list, public list. Guess what? Yes, of item called equals new list of item. And now what we've got in inspector is list called inventory. We've got some slots, like 2 for example. I've got name, description, value, nothing really special. Now it's time to understand one of the most common aspects of object-oriented programming in C#. Now imagine, so what type of items do we have in our game? We've got weapons, armor, potions, scrolls, plants, I don't know, lots of stuff. And now we could make every single class. I can type public class weapon and make every many list for them, but it's generally not wanted. Okay, so let's think how we can make it different. We can make just a class called item, and we could remember here some types, like 1 is weapon, sword, 2 is bow, 3 is potion, and stuff like that. But we can also make an enumeration, but they are very uncommon and may cause you a lot of trouble later. So now let me create another class called weapon. And what I'm gonna write here is that I'm inheriting from item. And you've saw it before here, like some classes inherited from other classes. And it means that weapon is an item. So imagine that we've got a weapon, which is an item. We may get, I don't know, armor, which is an item. We can get potion, which is an item, and many more. And like weapon, because it's item, it has a name and description and value. Okay? But weapon should always have damage. And let's leave it like this. Weapon type, will do all this stuff probably in the next episodes. And I won't need an armor actually for now. But I will add in like potion, I guess. Public int heal value. So now when we create a potion here, it will have heal value because it's potion, but it always have a name, description, and value because it's an item. And what we also need to do is take boolean called stackable and make it public. Okay, but how do we create those? We need a method that's called constructor, and constructor just construct a classes, turn them into objects. So, for example, this is a constructor. So we are creating a new list. We are taking, it will be list of item, and its name is called inventory. It is gonna be public, and then equals new list of item, and this brackets means that I'm using a constructor. I'm creating new instance of this guy. So let me do the same here. I'll type, what you need to type is just public weapon, because the returning type of the constructor must be the same as a class. Now here are parameters that you need to that you wish to use in your constructor. I usually name them with C before and then the full names of those. So to construct our weapon we need name, we need a description, we need information that it's stackable, and we need its value. So it's most basic way to create it. And then here we need to assign those variables here. So you see I've got a name because it inherits from an object, so weapons is an item and it has a name, equals C that name. Description equals C that description. Stackable equals C stackable. Value equals C value. That's because I name it wrong. C underscore value. Okay. So this is our constructor. And now over here, so let's for example say that in our start function I can type weapon, like, I don't know, let's create some cool name, Uriziel, equals new weapon, and then I open a brackets and I pass those that I've just defined. So its name is Uriziel. I don't know, the most powerful sword in a game. Then it's not stackable, so I will pass false, and then the value is 1500, okay. And to prove you that this guy actually exists, I'm gonna print Uriziel that, I don't know, description. And here you see the most powerful sword in the game. And well, I can debug all of those and tell you that we've created a weapon, but it's just some, for now those are just variables, some in our memory. So what we also can do is add it to an inventory. Inventory that add, and we add new weapon, and we pass this constructor. And now see, the type that lists holds is an item, but weapon is an item, it inherited from it. So here we've got Uriziel, and I will make it 0 for now, and and we've got every information that belongs to the item part of our weapon. So we do not have any information about damage because it belongs to weapon, not to item. And the list is type of item. If we would change the type here to weapon, and we also need to change it here, we've lost everything with some reason. Okay, because probably that's because I didn't make this guy serializable, and as I see it must be, and I also need to pass in a constructor another value which is damage and assign it. Damage equals C damage. And you can make some enums, damage types and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter for now. And you see we've got error in our constructor, so we also need to add damage, and damage is 20. Let's create this log, and as you see now we've got our damage. But I will leave it as a list of item. To prove you that the constructor works, I will also add another constructor. Then I will create a potion. I will copy part of this constructor, and I will add int called heal value. And I will assign all this value. And now to our inventory I can add another item, which is a potion. So I will add inventory. I will add a new potion. Its name will be a potion of healing. Its description would be heals some health points. It will be stackable, and its value would be like 80, 160, and heal value would be like, well, it's just a number, it doesn't really matter. After creating those, I can show you that here in our inventory we've added two items. First is our sword, it's called Uriziel. It is the most powerful sword in the game. It's not stackable, and its value is 150. And second one is a potion of healing. It heals some health points. It is stackable, and its value is 160. Okay, that's cool. So since they are just data, pure data, let's think, how do we make them objects in a game? And most clear explanation is with a game object. So you can add a public game object model. And add it here, like you can even pass them in a constructor, so I will do it for now. Game object mod C model, and here I will type model equals C model, and I will make it before, because those are constructors specified to the item, and they are variables from the item, just an item class, and they are variables specified for this type of item as well. And I will make them same actually over here. So I will move it here. Model equals C model. So now we've got problems, because here in our constructor we need to pass something. I will just pass game object, which is, oh yeah, can you do it? Wow. Yes, because here I will pass the game object, and here I would pass a damage, and here I will pass the game object, and then so what I'm passing the game object which this component is attached. For now it doesn't matter. So I've passed game manager, which does not make any sense. Well, what we need to do, go our prefabs, and I will call the create separate folder called items, and we need to add some 3D models to it and make them prefabs, and then we will load it from here. Sorry for interrupting the video, but I've just realized that this is not a good way. So what I've done, I've just realized I do not have a player sort prefab, so I've created in a prefabs folder. But what we need to do is create a folder called resources. Because every asset that we want to load while the game goes needs to be in here in resources folder. And then I'm gonna create a folder called items, and here we will make our sort prefab. To do that, we'll go into the models, get challenger sort. I will assign the textures to it. I'll move it like this. I will call it item because it's item. Sort because it's melee sort. That easier. It does not really look like Oriziel, but who cares? And I will move it to our resources items, like here. And a couple of things that we need to assign. We will assign mesh color there, make it convex, and make sure that they are it's not the same prefab as we have. Oh my god. And I just do not want it to be the same, because this guy shouldn't have mesh collider, because then it will push our player forward, and we will have just some strange things. So I will hit apply here, and I hope I didn't apply the changes into this guy. I haven't. You see, because if you don't do it, you will get your player just pushed forward, because two colliders will push on each other, the player colliders, the collider, the sort collider. And that's what I missed when I recorded this just minute before, and I had lot time just thinking why it happened. So I decided to make some cuts into video. Okay, and now this guy needs to add rigid body. We will make mass 100, and I remember my player. I said 100, and here is 1000, and I will make this to constant. and it's probably a good idea to make player also constant and not constant dynamic. Right now it should use gravity well. Let's start. Well, at least I think it does. I don't know which You can go ahead and experiment with those. I never know which one does what actually. Anyway, this is our prefab, so I can apply. So make sure here in your resources folder, items, you've got your Urizel model. And right now here, replace this game object with resources, capital R, it's class, that load, and the path is in the resources folder. I'm gonna read items slash, make sure you do not use backslash, that item, that sort, that Urizel. Close the brackets, as game object. As I said, we need to do typecasting because we do not need what we've loaded here. And now let me make sure that we have it. Oh, actually, why there's, well, player inventory, game manager. I was sure it was assigned actually. Player motion, camera. What happened? Scripts, player inventory. Okay, I cannot really explain what happened, why I've lost it. Anyway, as you see, I've got my model loaded in a good way. I wanted to make a potion model, but I'm not 3D artist and it was so much awful. So go ahead, create yours. It will be better probably. And other thing I see is I've named it with capital I and I shouldn't do it, and if you do it, you know, you need to make sure that you've changed them both. It should work right now. I hope so. Now I will reload out. Okay. So now we've got our inventory, which is a list of items. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't really change this here. So as I said, the name of the class must be the same, the name of the script. So we've got an Urizel with proper loaded model. So for now, what we have, we've just a list attached to our player, which contains an items, and we are creating them in a start function. However, items in a player's inventory are not only items that we found in the game, because items might be also equipped, which we go into later, or items may lay down, which we also get into this later. For now, I will just make sure you know it. It's just a model. and I can hit apply and delete it, because every time the game starts I'm just finding this prefab here in my resources folder. Here, this is this guy, and I can drag and drop him onto scene, but it does not change anything. It's still just, and it's here you just still got just some variables. There's no item existing in a game as we usually know item, laying something, or we cannot pick anything. They are not game objects yet, they are just variables assigned to some inventory. Okay, so that is conclusion for our first part of the inventory creation series. The next part we will go deep into serialization in this inventory, and then we will create some items laying on the ground. We will make them pickable and stuff like that. And for now, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye.